Hey everybody, it's Kay. Welcome back and welcome to Friday Reads. So today I'm going to share with you the 4 books I have finished since my last video. Y'all know I've been really slack about reading, but I think I'm getting my mojo back and I'm really happy about that. So I have 4 books I want to tell you about, and then I'll get into what I'm reading this weekend. So the first book is by Philip Margolin. He writes legal thrillers. The book is A Matter of Life and Death, and that book is part of his Robin Lockwood series. And I really do enjoy this series, except book 3. I started book 3 and I just couldn't get into it, so I DNF'd it. But I really like the first 2 books and this one. So in A Matter of Life and Death, we have Joe, who is a former boxer. He is homeless, and he and his wife and child live in a tent city. He is approached by a man who makes him an offer and says, I can pay you $300 if you come to this underground fight thing we've got going on. And you could get your family out of Tent City, move them into a hotel where it would be a little safer. And at first, Joe is very apprehensive, but he thinks about the fact that he and his wife and child are living literally on the street. And he's like, you know what? One fight won't hurt. So he goes, he participates in the underground fight and ends up enthralled in a conspiracy to the likes he would have never even imagined. So he summons Robin Lockwood to be his attorney. Robin is a former MMA fighter herself, and Joe has seen her at the gym. He trusts her. She takes on the case, and that's all I can tell you without giving you spoilers. So check out that series by Philip Margolin, the Robin Lockwood series. And this book, again, is A Matter of Life and Death. I will say this. I really did enjoy the book, but I'll say this about Philip Margolin. I think he writes very smart legal thrillers, and I enjoy his work. The only issue I have with him, as far as his writing style is concerned, is that there's a lot of... Well, you know how some authors have plot holes, and you wonder how character B knows what character A knows? Well, Philip Margolin leaves no stone unturned. He makes sure that his characters relay all the information to the next party. And a lot of times he goes into the detail of things you just read because that character is telling someone else. They're informing them what they need to know, which makes sense, but at the same time, it could be a little repetitive in the book. But otherwise, I enjoy his work, and I really did like that book. The next book was Minnie's Sacrifice by Frances Ellen Watkins Harper. And I won this book for when I participated in #ReadSoLit photo challenge for February, hosted by Brown Girl Reading, and I won 2 books. So Minnie's Sacrifice was one, and the other is The President's Daughter by William Wells Brown. I haven't read this one yet, but I have finished this one, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. The book itself, the story itself is about, 80 pages? I have a lot of stickies here because she delivered a lot in these 80 pages. This book is proof that a story doesn't have to be 500 pages to be excellent. I really did like this book. So it's published by Mint Editions, and they published books that were originally released prior to 1926. This book was published in 1869. And for her to include the things that she did in this book, to me, I admire her for her bravery at that time. She talks about colorism and white supremacy and racism and suffrage, passing for white, the unfortunate passing of children and how you deal with that. She just touches on a lot of different things, and I really, really liked this book. Next, I listened to The Secret Lives of Church Ladies by Desha, Philia. And for my Christian friends, I just want to warn you, even though she's talking about the secret lives of church ladies, this book is not tame. Okay. Especially that first story. That one kind of caught me off guard, but I really enjoyed it. It is a short story collection about women who are in some way connected to a church, whether they attend or there's interactions with pastors or other people who attend the church. And I enjoyed their stories. They were very interesting. And they had interesting names. Like I remember one was called Peach Cobbler, and that was a good story. So it's like I said, my Christian friends, it's not for the faint of heart, but it is very good, very well written. I enjoyed the stories that she told in that book. And the only thing is, I wish I had actually read it because there were just certain things I would have loved to have made note of that I didn't get to because I listened to it on Hoopla on audio. The next book I listened to was Allegedly by Tiffany D. Jackson. Now, I listened to Monday's Not Coming. I read Grown earlier this year, and everybody kept talking about Allegedly, so I said, okay, I need to check that one out. Allegedly is my favorite of the three. I really did enjoy this story. It is about a teenage girl, I think at this time she's 16 years old, who at age 9 was accused of murdering a child her mother was babysitting. So she allegedly committed this crime. The story takes a lot of twists and turns as you get to know Mary, the main character. At the end of this story, I wanted to scream. I was hot like fire. If it had been a book, I would have chucked it across the room. I was so mad at what happened at the end of this book. But I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought it was fantastic. She did that. She wrote that book. That one was really good. So if you have not checked out Allegedly, please do. If you read Monday's Not Coming and Grown, and you haven't read Allegedly, I highly suggest that you read Allegedly. Okay, now getting to what I'm reading now. So I started this book, and because I saw it all over Instagram, I started it, and y'all know I'm a mood reader. I haven't really been able to get into it like I want to, but it is called How the One-Armed Sister Sweeps Her House by Sheree Jones. I love that cover. The premise is interesting. Lala's grandmother tells her a story about a one-armed sister. It's a cautionary tale about young girls who are disobedient. Okay. When she's grown, Lala lives with her husband on the beach. He is a petty criminal. There's a thwarted burglary that sets off a chain of terrible consequences, a gunshot that no one was meant to witness, a new mother whose baby is found lifeless on the beach, a woman torn between two worlds and incapacitated by grief, and two men driven into the tunnels by desperation and greed who attempt a crime that will risk their freedom and their lives. So the tunnels are they're basically these tunnels where they warn young people not to go because there's danger there. So this one, so far, I'm at the very beginning, and it's kind of interesting. I just don't know if I'm in the mood for this book right now. But I'm also reading this one. I'm doing this one on audio, and I'm reading it because I'm listening to it sometimes if I get a break while I'm working and I'm not in a meeting and I'm just doing, typing up something, I can listen to it. But also I can listen while I'm cooking, washing dishes, or in the car, what have you. And then I can switch to the book. But this is Mrs. Wiggins by Mary Monroe. I love Mary Monroe. I love her characters. I love her stories. And she writes a lot of books that are in the past. For example, the opening of this book is in 1917, and I just love that. But how do I give a summary of this book? So Herbert and Maggie are married. They are the Wiggins, and they want to have a family. And they do some things to try to get one. I don't want to give any spoilers. Y'all look it up online. I'm scared I might spoil it by what I say, but the first page of this book, I was hooked. I was like, oh yeah, I need to know what's going to happen. But yeah, Mary Monroe, Mrs. Wiggins, check that out. That's what I'm doing this weekend, both listening and reading that book. So let me know if you have read any of these books and what you thought about them. Let me know what you are reading this weekend. Oh, one other thing I wanted to say. So most people who subscribe to me, I think, are probably also subscribed to Comfy Cozy Up. And right now in the month of April, we are participating in her hashtag a journal mood challenge here on YouTube and mostly over on Instagram. We are writing every day and posting our journaling and our stories. So if you are not following me on Instagram, please do so. If you're not following Comfy Cozy Up, please follow her there as well. This is my journal, and we did a journal mood back in November last year, and I'm still in the same journal. So which I'm glad about, because I get to put all of these great journal mood entries, I should say, into this journal, and it's going to be really good memories to go back and look at one day. I had started this journal on my own prior to a journal mood. And actually, when did I start this journal? I started this particular journal back in 20, in 2020, I believe. Did I start in, no, I started in, the very beginning of 2020. I started this journal just summarizing different things that happened in 2019. Excuse me, but I picked up journaling more frequently with a journal mood in last year. So, excuse me. But yeah, so if you like journaling, make sure you follow Comfy Cozy Up, because she hosts a journal mood periodically throughout the year, and I love the experience. She basically gives us a lot of prompts that we can use, and those of us who participate, we submit words to her. She picks the ones that she feel will fit best for that month, and we write each day according to the prompts that are provided. So I just wanted to share that. I've been journaling since I was in high school, I believe. And I love writing anyway, because it's a great way to express yourself. So just wanted to throw that out there. I hope you all have a great and wonderful weekend. Take care, and until next time, keep reading. Bye-bye.